There we go. It's Wednesday. You're listening to the Bleacher Brothers Show on the Tony Bruno Sports Network and watching us. I don't have to tell you where you're watching us because you know where you're watching us. YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook. Jeff will be joining us a little bit later in the show. Joe Q tonight. We're taking an early look at the Kentucky Derby. We got your NFL, your MLB, a lot of NFL. Just it never ends. Your MLB, your NHL, your NBA. And I'm excited because right out of the gate tonight, I've been chasing this interview for a little while. The head coach of everybody's favorite school and everybody's favorite football team, Coach Tom Herman, will be joining us here momentarily. How are you, Coach?
Hey,
Can
guys.
you hear me?
I can't. I can barely hear you. I think we're gonna maybe have to call back in. I thought I could hear you earlier. Everything was good. I can barely hear you.
Maybe the phone is a better option.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you guys right back.
Sounds great. So technical difficulties, but see what we did, Stephen? We planned ahead. Said, Coach, if we have a technical difficulty, here's the phone number. Plan ahead is absolutely the key. And who knows, tonight, I don't want to tease y'all, but there may be a Marisol Nichols sighting on the show. It's a very likely possibility. Because when you hear this song, all anybody thinks of is Marisol Nichols dancing on the top of the giant horseshoe or cowboy or whatever it was in the graveyard of neon signs in Las Vegas, Nevada. Man, you know what we need to talk about tonight, too, Stephen, is we need to talk about, because we haven't gotten to it yet, and it's Wednesday. There was a boxing match, if you want to call it that, this past weekend. Let me get the coach on here. We'll get back to the boxing match.
Some news.
Hey, Coach.
Hey,
how's that?
You got me.
All right, fantastic.
Sounds good.
Fantastic. I've been chasing this interview for a long time with you, Coach, so I appreciate you taking the time.
And that's why I when I pulled the baseball duty tonight, I didn't want to cancel on you again, so I apologize if we're running around here.
No, that's quite all right. That's quite all right.
You got my full attention.
That's quite. So you're at a baseball game right now, your kids' baseball game. Are you following FAU's baseball team at all? Because they're pretty good.
Not quite.
All right. Well, I know you get your hands full right now.
I do know we have a top 10 win under our belt thus far, which is exciting. So
yeah, they look really, really, really good. So in my opinion, but what the hell do I know? But they look good to me. So hey, you know, the first thing I want to ask is I got a long list, but we'll get through this quickly because I know you got the kids and you're out of the game.
All good.
When does the head coach of any college football team get to take a vacation? Because it seems like you guys got right out of the season and you were running crazy with the recruiting and then dealing with the portal nonsense.
Oh, man, it's crazy. No, we get a week off for spring break. I give our coaches that week off. I take it off. Unfortunately, here at FAU, I don't know why. We employ a lot of people that have kids, but our spring break did not coincide with Palm Beach County or Broward County schools. So my kids' spring break is coming up. We just got off spring break, but my wife and I took a little trip for a little bit, and then we'll get about 2 weeks off in the summer as well. So we get a little time, and I know, 3 weeks off, that's great. Yeah, well, when you're working whatever we work, 190-hour weeks or whatever the heck it is, it does seem a little bit slight for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine because I had assumed that when the season ended, you would disappear for a little while. And
I wish it worked that way. Back when I was young, when I first met my wife, we first started dating and whatnot. I remember her friends and family would always ask me, "So what do you do in the off season, like for your second job?" Or it's like, it's a full-time gig here.
How long you been married, Coach?
I've been married 22 years. Been with Michelle for 30.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I'm the same, I think, right, Stephen? In my 20s, I'm 21 years. 21 years. It goes by in a blink of an eye, right?
Been married?
Yep, 21 years married. I got and she's about to turn 11, and it seems like she was born yesterday.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, mine's my daughter's 20, my son is 16, and I've got another that is 10.
Well, all right. So same. I got she's about to turn 11. So yeah, I got a 10-year-old also, 5th grade.
Awesome.
So hey, let me ask. Yesterday was your first practice.
Yes, sir.
And I saw the videos. I saw the clips. I saw your comments. I saw some other comments. You get 34 new players joining the team so far this year, and there's more to come, I guess, later in the spring. What?
Yeah, that's about half of our freshman class, and then so we'll have about half of our freshman class in May, as well as I'm sure a handful more transfers too.
Okay. Well, what do you try to look for in the first practice? And people are gonna ask you, how's the team look? You know, what are you supposed to say? It's one practice, and you're gonna say, yeah, we look great. But what do you look for in the first practice?
Well, and it's not even a practice. I mean, they don't even let us put shoulder pads on. Mac Brown, I loved it. He used to say, your shoulder pads and all that, that's safety equipment. They don't make divers swim in a pool with no water or jump in a pool with no water for the first 2 practices before they pour the safety equipment in the pool, you know. So I don't know why we do it. We still do, but so the thing you're looking for in practice 1 is just effort, because it's not football. We're running around in shorts, and you know it's glorified tag, you know, a tag game, if you will. So we just want effort. We want to see guys running around, flying around, and we want to see guys basically at the end of the day not making the same mistake twice.
Were you happy at the end of the day yesterday?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think we accomplished the goals. I think this team has such a different feel than last year's team. It's just much more mature. The guys enjoy coming to work every day. They enjoy coached and coached hard and don't mind that. And so it's been fun to be around and fun to watch them, you know, at least for the first time, run around in shorts and underwear, if you will, yesterday.
So, you know, transparency, anybody who listens to this show knows this. I grew up in the Northeast. And in the Northeast, when you grow up there, you become a big sports fan, but it's Yankees or Jets or Giants or Mets. It's all the big teams, Rangers, Devils. And, you know, if you get into college sports, you're a little extreme where I'm from at a young age. And I didn't discover college basketball until I was 24 years old. And the first college football game I ever saw from kickoff to the final whistle was against Monmouth last year when I was working the sidelines. But I've learned a ton, and you know, I've learned a ton watching you. And what I've gathered to this point is you're. I don't know if every college coach is like this, but I've interviewed a handful of your players, and they were the most just fantastic, awesome, polite, seemed like great guys. I mean, Jerome Marsh just texted me right now and said, "Hey, hope you have fun with Coach Herman tonight. Can't wait to see you next week." I mean, you great guys.
He's awesome.
He is, and I'm gonna ask you about him in a minute. But so how hard? I remember your last post game press conference at the last home game, and you had said, you know, everybody said they were going to buy in, or everybody said they were buying in. Now we're going to see. How hard was it, or how hard is it to navigate through this NIL mess and the portal and all that crap? Because it's
really hard. You know, I think we didn't have the results we wanted, which, you know, it's frustrating. It's first time in my career I haven't been bowl eligible, and I mean there was a lot of firsts, unfortunately, not in a good way that happened last year for me. But I think, you know, and it was frustrating because as much as FAU looks and feels, smells, tastes, whatever, like Houston when we took over there, same conference, very fertile recruiting base, kind of an up and coming program. Houston had won 8 games before we got there, and right, wrong, or indifferent, they fired the guy and hired me, and we were lucky enough that we had a good roster, and we pressed the right buttons, developed the right guys, and won 13 games in year one, and beat Florida State in the Peach Bowl and so on and so forth. But I had to remember, in all of the frustration this year, was year one at Texas. We took over for a program that had 3 straight losing seasons for the first time in its 120 years of playing football. And we squeaked by with 6 wins, barely, that first year. And it was really year 2 that we took off, won 10 games, beat Oklahoma, beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. And so this team feels a lot like it did then. I just think when there's that much, that long, that wide of span of losing, you just can't get that culture out of the locker room in 1 year. It's just too difficult. And we have now, and we've upgraded the talent, we've upgraded the culture, and I appreciate your compliments on our players. It means a lot to me, because we've spent a long, arduous time in recruiting, trying to find what Chris Peterson at Washington famously coined OKGs, our kind of guys. We need to find our kind of guys, because there's plenty of people walking the planet that say they want this, and I want to win, and I want to be good, and I want this, and I want that. Everybody wants.
They just don't want to do.
Or they don't want to do what's necessary to do, because to get that result, it's really nasty. It's really dirty. It's hard. It's painful. It's inconvenient. It's self-sacrifice. It's all of the things that go exactly against human nature. I tell people all the time when they meet me for the first time, they say, "What do you do for a living?" I don't say I'm a coach. I say I fight human nature every day. That's what I do. I fight human nature every day, because we're humans, and we gravitate towards things that are easy and comfortable and self-satisfying, and all of those things. And we all know throughout the course of time what it takes to win at a very high level, to win championships. That formula has never changed throughout mankind's existence. You want to be great at something, it's going to be really freaking hard. Really, really hard. And people quit when it's hard. That's human nature. And so our job is to make sure our breaking point is a little bit higher than our opponents every week.
Well, 2 of the guys, I mean, I mentioned J-Mo, and there were a handful of guys, but 2 of the guys I know are returning that I spoke to last year, and yeah, I'll ask you, Jackson Ambush. I mean, this is Jason Bourne on a football field, and Federico. We joked with him. We said, you can give somebody concussion and diagnose them right there on the field and treat them and put them back in the game. But I imagine they're part of your leaders.
Federico just got named the Student Athlete of the Year for all sports. That's not just the football award. That's every student athlete. And trust me, we have golf and tennis here too. So that bar is difficult to reach as a football player, to be the Student Athlete of the Year for your entire university. That's pretty impressive. And he happens to be our captain, our starting center. He's everything you want. Both those guys are marry your daughter kind of guys, and we're both with 2 very different paths. Jackson from parts unknown, who went to little old Albany, and all he did was lead FCS and tackles, and came here. Federico's on his 6th year from down here. Bleeds blue and red, and so very, very different paths to get here, but 2 very similar guys when it comes to our happiness that they're 2 of our main leaders this season.
Yeah, we love those guys here on the show. I mean, they were fantastic, and we hope that you'll let them come back on with us again this year, because they were 2 of our favorites.
I absolutely will.
So yeah, I got to be on good behavior tonight, because I want your players back. So to talk about Jackson for a second. So he came from was it Buffalo, somewhere up by Buffalo, or Albany? It was Albany. And we talked about how he was used to playing in front of a couple hundred people at some of those games, and what a downer it is And I've asked your players, and one thing that they're very, very good about is, they don't say things that they shouldn't say, even if they
Right.
feel. So here's what drove me nuts, Coach. That stadium. There needs to be a lot more people in that stadium. And I know, and
I would agree with you, and I hope our fans are listening. That's partly on us too. We're not at the maturity level.
we might have lost Coach.
Off, until 22 years ago. And so we got to win for them to come out, but it's the chicken and the egg, right? It's easier to win when you pack the stadium, and it's easier to pack the stadium when you win. So we've got to do our part and win games when the crowd is less than ideal, and then hopefully that'll entice more and more people to come and support us and make sure that our stadium truly is a home field advantage, because that's a real thing if we can make it that way.
Well, I had asked you on a Zoom call last year about this, and you said, "Yeah, if anyone knows Pitbull," and then I know that Kodak Black came out, but we just got back from the Super Bowl, and we sat down and talked to Carrot Top, who's an FAU alum, and
Right.
I don't know what he'll draw, but he'll at least draw some old people in to. We haven't played halftime.
As young as we feel talking to each other about Carrot Top, because we can relate, I don't know that that's our target audience.
You got to see this guy though. He probably could play linebacker for you, for a guy.
Yeah, he's all yoked up now, right?
Oh, he's huge. He's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
He's got an odd sort of thing going on, but he's in great shape. What's the biggest challenge going into this year with this new team for you?
The newness. We're going to be relying on quite a few guys more than ever before, and this is the new normal. But quite a few guys that haven't played for FAU yet, and that's a little bit scary. But and I think we lost some talent on the offensive line. I think we're plenty talented enough there, and having Federico as your linchpin in the middle there certainly helps. But we lack some experience there too. So those are the things that are going to be the biggest hurdles right now. We're so much better, so much more far along as a program in terms of knowing and doing the things necessary to win at a high level. And now it'll be about chemistry. It'll be about one, can these guys play the way we think they can? I mean, there's 34 guys that, even though we quote unquote practiced yesterday, there's 34 guys I've never seen in shoulder pads and a helmet in person. So we got a lot of work to do between now and the fall, but if you can tell by the energy in my voice, it definitely does, though, have a different feeling than last March for sure.
And let me, and I just got a couple other bullet questions after this, and I'll let you go with your kids. But so when I talk to the guys, and I think it was Jackson, his exact words were, I would run through a wall for Coach Herman. And I was like, wow, that's, it might have been Federico that said it also, but they weren't the only ones. Everyone said, we love Coach Herman, we love Coach Herman, we love Coach Herman. How do you separate? Because I see you as a guy that, obviously you're really good at what you do, and you're very successful, and you take it extremely seriously. And, I've seen you with my own eyes, but I've done my research, and you care about these, I'm calling them kids, but you care about these guys. When things don't go right with all this portal nonsense, how do you deal with that? Does it hurt sometimes?
Oh man, my wife tells me I'm a glutton for punishment. She just says these kids keep breaking your heart and you keep going back. And I don't know. Yes, it is hard. It's hard when you pour yourself into someone and you see them develop and they walk away, or maybe they have a different idea of that encounter. But it warms my heart to know that those guys said that, and I think you hit the nail on the head. If you're asking why, the answer is I do care, and to the point where I've got a former quarterback that I coached at Ohio State coming to hang out with us this weekend. Braxton Miller, 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year. And he's 30-something years old now. And we form relationships. That's probably the biggest thing I'm the most nervous in this portal era is, much like Gino Auriemma said, I'm worried about the relationships. I think all of us at some point in our career had a choice to kind of pursue collegiate or scholastic football, if you will, or pursue professional football, and we all, for different reasons, chose college football. And I think a lot of us, I know I did, was because of the relationships. And when your team is full of guys that are looking over their shoulder for the next best opportunity, and they can leave you every 6 months, I don't know how you build those relationships anymore, because one of the most famous success stories I have as a coach is Cardell Jones, again at Ohio State. Third string quarterback comes in and wins the national championship for us. And Cardell wouldn't have said hello to me walking down the hallway the first 3 years we were together. He hated me. And yet today, we're investors in his company, my wife and I. He's flown to visit with my wife on Mother's Day weekend. I mean, this is why we do it. But Cardell Jones doesn't happen in today's era, because Cardell Jones hated me for too long, and he would have transferred 10 years ago, and who knows if he ever would be who he is. And so that's scary to me, because I care about kids, and I care about this profession and this sport that has meant so much to me and my family. So I get it, and I'm not going to be an old curmudgeon though either, and sit there and wag my finger and blame everybody while we're getting our asses kicked either. We got to do business the way business is done, and figure out a way to be successful in this new model.
You and your team last year, and the guys that we spoke to, made a gigantic college sports fan out of me. It started with you, and then it rolled right into basketball, which I already enjoyed. And now I'm at the baseball games. We just found that FAU had a hockey team. Who knew that they had a hockey team? You
knew before I did, brother.
It's a club team, but they made it to the finals somewhere. They just lost today. Their season ended. It was awesome. Pro day next week. Yes, I know about Jerron going there. Again, I am not you. You can hold in your finger the knowledge that I have about college football, but Jerron works hard. He's a good player, isn't he? He's got a shot, right?
He'll have a shot just because he is so smart. He's so tough. He's so physical, and he's a leader. He's a grown man. He's mature. What's going to hurt him? That league is all about measurables. And he's not going to grow between now and the draft. Mm-hmm. He's not going to get any taller. He's not going to put on 20 pounds. So he'll get a shot, and he'll impress anybody who gives him that shot. So we just hope his body can do him well, and hopefully he'll have a chance to make money playing this game.
I hope so too, because he's one of the greatest guys I've ever met in my life, and he's become a friend now. So
that is so cool to hear.
Yeah, no,
really cool.
He's put all of them, but I mean him. So the NIL in Paradise Gridiron Classic. I was told to ask you about this.
Please do. Yeah, no, it is. It's April 25th, I believe, is the date.
It is.
It is our largest NIL fundraiser of the year, and again, you may not like it. You may want to wag your finger up and down about NIL the way most people do, but if you want FAU to win, we need your money, mm-hmm. And I'm not ashamed to say it, because that is reality. And if we can get the requisite talent to win this conference. We have the right staff. We have the right administration. You win the American Conference, you're going to the playoffs. That is all FAU fans need to know. If you want to know if your money is being spent wisely, it's being spent so that you can see FAU, not the Final Four. We're talking about the college football playoffs, and that is a reality. And it is our biggest fundraiser. We need that help, and as well as our women's clinic, which I believe, or ladies' night out, I believe is what we're calling it.
Yep, that was the next thing on my list. Yeah, April 3rd. What exactly is ladies' night with FAU football?
It's something we started doing back every place I've been. We've always felt like the women in relationships, if you will, if they're with a guy, sometimes they want to be a part of the action, right? They want to understand what's going on. They might not have grown up playing the game, so it's really a way for us as coaches to teach the women of our community the game. We have a lot of fun doing it, and we're raising money. It's wine, it's cheese, it's hors d'oeuvres. Trust me, there's no. We're not going to put eye black on and go put you in the Oklahoma drill. But we hope that you go back and if you come, you have a great time. That you enjoy being around FAU football. That you spend a lot of money at the auction because it all goes to NIL, and then. Probably the biggest reason that most women come to these is so when they go home, they can tell their husbands that they know way more about football than they do, which is oftentimes true. Just spending 2 hours with us, and they've spent their whole life with their husband, so who played in middle school or whatever it was.
Now, anyone can come out to this, right? I mean, if I want to come and bring my wife and my daughter, we can come. Okay.
Yes. And it's not, please come. Spouses, partners, everybody is welcome. And it's open to the public. We want everybody. You don't need to be affiliated with FAU at all. If you're a fan of football or want to learn more about the game, if nothing else but to rub your partner's nose in it, then this is the place for you.
Coach, I wish you all the success this season. I hope that you'll release your guys to us again this year. I hope you'll come back again, and I'll be there rooting you on. Our whole show. The show's much more than me. Well, I didn't want you to see this motley crew up close and personal, so we banned everyone from the studio until you're off the air tonight.
And I appreciate you guys working with me. I'm sorry the video thing didn't. I promise you when I come back on, I'll be sitting at a desk and it'll be a lot cleaner. But
good.
I do appreciate you having me.
No, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out, and I'm sure that I will see you at practice or at the at one of these events. I've never missed a ladies' night in my life before I got married. So ladies' night, and I can bring my ladies. So thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you. Go Owls.
Go Owls, absolutely. Stephen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. That was absolutely awesome. The great head coach of your FAU Owls, Tom Herman. See that, Stephen? Everybody's listening. And J-Mo texted during the interview, so very cool. Guys, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back with Play Action. Jeff will be joining us. Chef Tom will be on the other side of the glass with Stephen. Don't go anywhere. There's way more to come. We're not finished yet, all right? Oh, we might be finished, Stephen. I'm not hearing anything.
You're listening to the Bleacher Brothers on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Miss Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
58 in Las Vegas. Tony, what do you think?
Quincy, it's 2 a.m. You have school tomorrow. Get some rest.
See you tomorrow, Saquon.
You got it, Quessy.
His name is Quincy. The crowd goes wild.
Steven, I don't know what the hell this is that we're listening to.
Now, back to the Bleacher Brothers on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
This here's a jam for all the fellas. Try to do what those ladies tell us. Get shot down because you're overzealous. Play
All right, Steven. I'm coming to you in a minute here.
Go to a party. Girls are scantily
And because Jeff is not here yet, special guest sitting in for Jeff during the top fan rivalry sports desk update here. All right, you're gonna love this, Steven. Hold on a second. Let's bust a move here. And guys, the phone number if you want to call in at any point tonight is 352-234-8669. That is 352-234-8669. We got to update this sucker right here.
Looking for love in all the wrong places. No fine girls, just ugly faces. From frustration, first inclination is to become a monk and leave the situation. But every dark tunnel has a light of hope, so don't hang yourself with a celibate rope. New movie showing, so you're going. Could care less about the five you're blowing. Theater gets dark just to start the show. Then you spot a fine woman sitting in your row. She's dressed in yellow. She says hello. Come sit next to me, you fine fellow. You run over there without a second to lose. And what comes next?
It's your top fan rivalry sports update with Steven Luker and the lovely Marisol Nichols. Thank you for joining us tonight, Marisol. You know what? Jeff may not have a job anymore if Marisol wants to hang in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she might enjoy it.
All right, Steven. You got stuff going on there?
Yeah, I got all the scores ready. I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, well, let me flip my page over here. I feel like Brian Gumble tonight. If you ever watch Real Sports with Brian Gumble, where he's there with his glasses, and I got my glasses, and he's got his pen, and his... have you ever seen that, Steven?
I somewhat seen it, somewhat haven't. I need to sit down and watch it one day, entirely.
It's a great show. I mean, it was on for 24 years. They just ended it. I don't get... Why do you do something for 24 years and then end it? Go to 25!
Yeah!
Why do you stop at 24?
End it at a quarter mark. Don't end it at an even number. End it at the quarter.
But they have the segments, the show, the segments where they talk, whatever, whoever the athlete was, whether it's a pro athlete, whether it was Eskimo dog, bobsled. But then Brian Gumble afterwards, always be there with his pen and his, taking notes, looking all serious. And I always told my wife, I'm like, I want to beat him over the head with that. So Soledad O'Brien, have you ever heard that name, Stephen?
No.
Soledad O'Brien is she's a famous newswoman. She's Today Show, CNN, yada, yada, yada. Soledad O'Brien was part of Real Sports for the last few years. I met Soledad, sort of became friendly with Soledad. The first thing that I asked Soledad when I knew that I could ask her this question is, what the hell is he doing with that pad and pen? You know what he's doing?
What?
Anyone, if you have any idea what he's doing and you don't already know, put it in the chat. And if you get it right, Joe Q, I see you Googling, buddy. Don't be Googling, Joe. You can't answer, Joe. I'm going to give away a free Bleacher Brother t-shirt to anybody that can get this right. What the hell is Brian Gumble writing on his pad? Dobbling. I don't know what dobbling is. Joe Q, you're not getting the t-shirt, though. And you ruined it for someone that was really going to give an answer. Doodling. Jeff, welcome. Marisol is joining us tonight for the update. Good. You're going to sound at you? No sound at you, buddy. Let me ask you to unmute here through the thing.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing, man. That's better than looking at your guys' face. Heck
it is. Steven suggested that we not even have you on anymore because Marisol can just fill in for your spot. But
I could just talk. You put her face above on my face, and then I could just talk.
Your voice would totally ruin the whole thing if you look at Marisol. So,
I could go like this. Ah, Marisol. I sound like the guy from Family Guy. Ah, Crash.
Let's go to the top fan rivalry sports desk with your man, Steven Luker.
All right, we got some NBA action going on right now. The Raptors are up 73-71 against the Detroit Pistons in the third quarter, 4:45 to go. So it's a close one in there in Detroit. The Magic are up 69-61 against the Brooklyn.
Is Detroit still alive in postseason action?
They say they are, but we don't know for sure. They could be eliminated. Who knows? It's confusing. This NBA standing thing is confusing as heck.
And Steven tonight is broadcasting from his Manhattan penthouse. He's in the Manhattan studio tonight of Bleacher Brothers, overlooking Central Park. Boy, Central Park sure looks beautiful for this time of year.
Yeah.
The trees are full, and I can't even see any homeless people.
Yeah, me either. But
I just want to know how much rent is.
It is $2,000 a month.
Hey, we're Bleacher Brothers. We're on Tony Bruno Sports Network. What do you think? I mean,
we covered the rent.
You're working with Tony. You're getting
a year's worth of rent free.
We're not on the Joe Blow Sports Network.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, huh? Go ahead, Steven.
All right, back to our regular schedule program. The Denver Nuggets are up 45-42 against the Miami Heat in the second quarter. 1:46 left to go. The Indiana Pacers are up 62-55 against the Chicago Bulls. 5 seconds left until halftime in that game. The Charlotte Hornets are beating the Memphis Grizzlies 33-22 in the second quarter, 9:55 to go.
The Charlotte Hornets are beating somebody? Now, they are eliminated from the playoffs, so they have nothing to lose at this point. Watch, they'll probably go on a streak and win their last 20 in a row.
Yeah, and they will not be the father in the playoffs.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, but go ahead. Keep going.
You know, Murray, you know how they do the review, and he's like, he's not the father.
Oh, Maury.
Yeah.
That show is older than you. How did Maury? Is that still on?
I don't know. Maybe. I think it's over. But at the end of the
They're
first...
all Geraldo knockoffs. You know that, Jeff, right?
Yeah, that's right,
Geraldo was doing that. So Geraldo got his nose broken with a chair by some skinhead. And then Maury retired a few... Man, Joe is... And we're going to have the encyclopedia himself on with us in a little while. Go ahead, Steven. Keep going, buddy.
At the end of the first quarter in New Orleans, where next year's Super Bowl will be, the Pelicans are losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers 30-22. 30-22. And in our hockey action, not a lot of hockey tonight, but we have 2 games in progress right now. The Nashville Predators are up 2-0 against the Winnipeg Jets in the second period. 18:30 left to go. The St. Louis Blues are up 2-0 against the Los Angeles Kings. Second period, 16:40 left to go in the second period. And on this day in history, we are going to go 2011, the 52nd SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. Kentucky beats Florida 70-54. And that is your sports update.
Great job, Steven. And look at that, Jeff. He got it. All right, Marisol, hopefully you'll be back for the next update with that's not you, Jeff. That's you're Tom Herman, yo. Hey, let's get this set up. I apologize. Me and Steven got to playing grab ass there, and I didn't do my job. Look at this. Yeah, exactly. You didn't miss much. I'm telling you that right now. We don't, you know what? We're loyal to Marisol at this point. Okay? Work or no work. We're loyal to who we're loyal to. Did you catch any of the Herman interview or conversation? I don't like to call them interviews because I don't feel like I'm interviewing people. I feel like I'm just talking to them.
I missed it, dude. What did I miss? Because I thought it would still be on for a second. I just walked in.
No, it was, this is what we did. We handled this thing very professionally, I think, Steven, because he came in early, like we asked him to, which is why I cleared the room of all you guys. No offense to anyone, Chef Tom. Coach, are you there? No, not you, Tom. Okay. But anyway, he was having some sound issues, and he tried, and finally he said, hey, let's do it on the phone. And it sounded, it sounded great here. Hopefully it sounded great on the air, and it sounded great on the apps, but it was good because everyone and their brother were sending me, ask him this, ask him that. Oh, football, like X's and O's, and I didn't do that. Because that's not what we do.
Yeah, I bet he thought it was refreshing,
Wow.
For once, talk about the guy, talk about the man. Because I know your style, so it's.
He doesn't remember yelling at me. Nick the Flick had to defuse the whole thing in a press conference one time. I asked the wrong question. No, I asked the right question. But he was emotional. And I said, you seem like an emotional guy and you really care. And he does. And what made the whole interview? I get a text as soon as the interview started. Guess who texted me?
Robbie.
No.
No?
How is that a big deal? Robbie texts me 400 times a day. J-Mo texted me.
Oh, J-Mo, baby.
J-Mo, yeah. J-Mo.
Watch our show.
Jeff, this football never, ever, ever stops, man. And now that BleacherBrothers.com, all right, big news. Not that anyone cares, but big news. Hired the developer today. By April 1st, boom. You won't know. You'll say like, wait, I used to go to ESPN. I'll never go back there because everything is here plus more.
And it's a weight off your shoulders a little bit too.
Oh, you have no idea. You know how hard it is to. So hey, let's hit baseball real fast because a couple things came out, and I haven't seen any baseball news. Steven actually broke some to me before the show started, but since 7, I haven't seen anything.
That was the big thing that happened.
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, there's that.
He's out 1 to 2 months, and then Yankees went to the White Sox and said, "Hey, we want to trade for Cease," but well, they ceased to talk to the Yankees, and they traded him to somebody else. Who did they trade him to?
Padres.
The Padres. So this is horrible news for Yankees fans. I already had notified Bill Perkins. I said, I'm sticking with the Phillies. I changed my mind. But where the Yankees can pull me back in, go sign Trevor Bauer.
That's you. If they don't do that, you're not going to be.
They wanted Cease because he's only making $8 million. Bauer only wants $800,000. Cease is a barely over 500 pitcher. Bauer's a Cy Young Award winner.
It makes sense. Just pull him in there. What's he gonna hurt? Of course, Yankees fan. No one Yankees fan. As soon as Aaron Judge went like 0 for 8 or didn't even hit a home run in his first like 5 at bats, like that's it.
Well, he's hurt too. You know that?
And
he's hurt.
Well, they said his MRI was clean.
Yeah, but he's still hurt, so he's gonna kind of just chill and maybe golf or go to the beach for the next week down here in Florida, and then start to ramp up, as they say.
All right, I get it. Well, you're just destined to know that he will be hurt at least twice a year. That's Aaron. That's just too much person. It's a big dude. Like, watch these the NBA guys. Like, I swear, every time I look at Akeem Olajuwon, I thought he had jaundice. There's not enough blood to pump to these lower extremities. You know, like God built me perfect. I'm about like 5'10", and that 170, 185. So I don't have too many problems. You know, these guys, they can't fit into airplanes, and it's like, you know, and every time I watch Aaron Judge run and like jump and dive and everything, oh God, it's another ACL. It's soft tissue. So
yeah,
I hope not. But it's just a Yankee fan. If I was a Yankee fan, I'd be right there with him. Like, that's it. Season's over. Throw the papers.
Well, I pulled up. I haven't been able to publish this yet, but I can get it off the wire, so I can get the news before you do. Nanny poo poo. But you know, I
have a point to make on that.
Go ahead.
Well, so at work, we're talking about, you know, like, oh, so much happened in the NFL and all this, and I'm like, oh, did you hear this? Well, no. Did you hear this? And all this stuff. You know where I got it from, BleacherBrothers.com. And we're like, wait a minute, how do you know that? That hasn't come out yet. We have it. I mean, you're basically going to just go to BleacherBrothers.com every time, just have it saved on your browser. If you don't have it at the top of the list, I'm coming for you.
And look, there's a way. I know there's a way on an iPhone. I don't know if there's a way on an Android. I'm not an Android guy.
Sure.
We don't have an app yet, but it's coming. All right, it's coming. But you can turn the website into an app. All you have to do is bookmark it on your phone.
That's what I did.
And then boom, it's just like an app.
Yep.
That's it.
And so these guys were just like, "How are you getting all this information?" I tell you, man, I got you. Don't even worry about it. And then like something else happened. And I'm like, I knew about that yesterday.
Jeff, I know more about sports. I've learned more about sports in the past 4 days than I've learned in the past 40 years because I have to take every single one of these articles that you're seeing on BleacherBrothers.com right now and manually move them over. Oh, yeah. I'm spending hours a day for people, but I mean, our traffic is nuts. I don't, you know, there's a lot of traffic. Let's just say what you might think is a lot. No, like quadruple it. There's a lot of traffic on the site. So I got the spring training roundup. At least they call it the spring training roundup on this wire, but this is only the Grapefruit League. Justin Turner and Eduardo Escobar each clubbed 3-run home runs today. Blue Jays pounded the Pirates 10-3. Twins. Now this is where Bill Perkins' idea from the other night would come in handy. The Twins battled to a 1-1 tie with the Cardinals today.
Yeah, I like his idea. You know, like you could go ahead and play the 10th inning and do some sort of home run derby kind of thing. You know, you get a lot of people sticking around for those games. I know that.
I think so. I think you turn it into regular season stuff too. I really do.
Oh yeah. I'm not a fan of the ghost runner, or it's not a ghost runner, but still. And then of course all these other rules like blocking the bag, like you're gonna make it to where like what are the infielders gonna do? You know, they can't.
How do you not block the bag? The bag is 18 feet by 18 feet now.
Yeah, I mean, I was taught to put my foot next to the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a bunch of shortstop and second base and a lot of activity around the bag. I know you played.
Oh, you must have been the coach's son, huh? You were playing shortstop, huh? But you were a pitcher too, right? No.
I the thing is, they wanted me for outfield because I could throw, but I could field. I could actually, all I would do is just like go out there in the yard and just throw the ball up against the wall. Throw up against the wall, it'd go on rocks and make funky bounces. I'm telling you, my hands got great, and with no glove, just practice. And they're like, this guy he has an arm and a glove. Now hitting, took a while.
The Phils pulled one out today. They scored 3 runs in the 8th inning to dispatch the visiting Detroit Tigers.
Tigres.
4-1. Matt Verlin cranked the solo shot out. Aaron Nola went 4 2/3 and gave up 1 run. The Red Sox, Tristan Casas. Should I know that name?
He's one of their young pitchers, right?
No. I hope not, because he blasted a 421-foot home run.
Oh,
C-A-S-A-S.
Oh, yeah, like houses or something. Casas. Mi casa es su casa. And he sent it out of your casa.
Anthony Rizzo went 3 for 3, and Giancarlo Stanton went 2 for 3. Oh, he got 2 hits in one game? That means he's not going to get another hit. Juan Soto was held hitless in 3 at-bats. This is one that must have sold the spring training stadium out. The Nationals edged out the Marlins 2-1. Jake Irvin settled for no decision despite posting 5 shutout innings. So these guys are already stretching out to 5 innings. Now we're at that point of spring training. Seems like it just started to me. So
they're getting like in Major League, they go to the locker and the little tags there,
Yeah, I saw the Phillies sent down or designated some guys down to the minor league camp. But that's you got anything else in baseball? That's the spring training update.
There's a football score: Reds Giants here in Cactus League, 19-11. And there's actually currently I think it's almost over. My Astros and Mets. It's a 5. I think you mentioned that it's 5-5. So that'd be cool if somebody could win that because I hate ties in baseball. But hey, discuss it. What about ties in baseball? If they can figure out in hockey, soccer, and everything else, they can figure out in baseball. I know they got so many games. They got so much flexibility.
So this guy Cease, all right, he was the runner-up for the Cy Young in 22. I'm sorry, with a 14-8 record and a 2.20 ERA. So he's had one good year because his total stats, and I don't know if they will be in this right here article. Yeah. Overall, he's 43-35 in 4 years. So if we wipe out 22, which you can't wipe it out because he had a great year, but you get the point. What did I just say was 14-8 that year? So he was 6 games over that year, and he's only 8 games over for his entire career. So he had one good year, and now people are fighting over him because he only makes $8 million. But yet my man Trevor Bauer is still on the unemployment line. It's not fair.
The guy's Dylan Cease is under 30 years old too, and you got to give him a break. When you play for the White Sox, he's going to get shelled a little bit. So No, I mean, he's worth it. Plus, the Padres needed somebody. They're losing all their pitching, losing everybody, losing Soto. So
maybe Blake Snell goes back to the Padres. Nobody else wants him.
What's happening with that?
They want too much money, these guys, and teams just are not going to pay the money. So I don't know. They're going to have to settle for almost nothing and come in on a one-year deal. Like Montgomery, I've always liked Montgomery because when he came up with the Yanks, I thought, hey, this is the next Andy Pettitte. Guy's left-handed. Guy seems to have that demeanor. I mean, he showed last year in the postseason that he's got what it takes, but very inconsistent. When they traded him over to St. Louis, he started out like gangbusters right out of the gate, but then hit the wall and was horrible for St. Louis. So, these Scott Boras people, Scott Boras likes to hold out to the last minute. You can't get any more last minute than this. Montgomery wants 7 to 8 years for a contract.
Oh.
And I don't know, Steven, I don't even have to. Joe, do you know what his overall, his lifetime career record is? 1 loss and his ERA? Because I don't think it can be that great. I don't, maybe he's going to have to settle for a 1-year deal somewhere, obviously. So let's say you're a crap team. You sign him to like a $20 million one-year deal. Know that you're not going anywhere, but you'll be able to unload him at the deadline and stock up.
A lot of teams do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
You mentioned it before. He was really pedestrian last year, but it's some of the things. Again, he's playing for the White Sox, so you got to take some of that in consideration. A 4.5 ERA, who knows? I don't know how many innings this guy goes, but I think his numbers are deceiving. 7-9 last year. He's gonna be something that he's gonna be viable, I think. But you're right. Go ahead and get Bauer. He's gonna be like on a smoking deal. I don't know what you guys are waiting on. You've convinced me, even though like nobody likes the guy.
If I win this Powerball and the Mega both this week, because one's at like 800 and the other one's at 600 million, I will immediately go and buy the Pirates or the Marlins or some crap team and then sign Trevor Bauer with whatever money I have left.
Here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty good. He only needs like, what you're saying, what was it, an
800? Yeah, the league minimum, I think it's 800 and something thousand. In basketball, Jeff, if you have picks, we can give those out after the break. Okay. My lock in the NBA right now is don't do anything. I know North Carolina, you're all excited and you got your app, and if you want to goof around for a little bit of money, but this NBA is so uneven right now that it doesn't make any sense. Here, I'll give you a live line right now because we're going to have I'm looking at this scoreboard on the wire, which gives me all the games and then gives me all the books. So like right now, Toronto and Detroit doesn't tell me what the score is, but right now you can get Toronto plus 4.5 at DraftKings, but on FanDuel they're only plus 3.5. And then Cleveland is minus 3.5 at DraftKings, but they're minus 4.5 at FanDuel right now, in-game live. So this is crazy cool. A couple things in the NBA happened last night. Kawhi Leonard got hurt.
Leonard.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything early anyway that said, if this is anything to worry about. What's his name? Luka
Doncic.
Yeah, it's a monster. He's got like 400 triple-doubles in a row. Where the hell is he? Because he's right here. Still on a roll. Leaves Mavs against the Warriors last night. And I want to tell you that game wasn't even 127-92. Oh, no, I'm sorry. All right. Recorded his 7th straight triple-double with 27 points, 12 rebounds, 14 assists in a 127-92 romp over the Chicago Bulls on Monday night. And then he continued that last night, triple-double. Likely the possibility without Steph Curry stealing the spotlight when Dallas Mavericks. So they play the Warriors tonight. I guess they're playing the Warriors. Steven, is that right? You're the update guy. Warriors play against the Mavericks tonight? Okay. Yeah. Hold on, Stephen. I got to bring you on screen so that people can hear you on the radio. Because if you're not on the screen, they won't hear you on the radio. Go ahead.
All right, so the last time these two teams traded, the Padres and White Sox, the Padres sent James Shields to the White Sox. Who do you think they got in return?
Wait a minute. I almost know
What year was this? Can you give? Can
2016.
You give me? 2016.
I'm off. I don't.
All right, wait a minute. Before anyone answers.
And the only hint I'm going to give you to is his father is an ex-MLB player.
Dale Berra.
No.
Wasn't Yogi Berra's son Dale?
No.
You sure?
It's not.
Is Ken Griffey Jr.?
What did you say, Jeff?
Jose Cruz Jr.
No.
Ken Griffey Jr.
No.
Caribbean Cruz Jr.
Think.
Walter Ruth. Babe's son.
No. His father played for the Mets and Cardinals.
Apple Strawberry.
Oh, God.
No.
Apple Strawberry.
It wasn't. Wait a minute. It wasn't. No, it wasn't Lenny's son, was it? What's Lenny's son name? That's married to Meadow Soprano. I forget his name. Cutter. Yeah, Cutter.
Not Cutter.
Not Cutter.
This guy was an outfielder.
Hey, the guy was caught taking PEDs. Not Fernando Tatis.
Oh,
It is Fernando Tatis Jr. and Eric Johnson. That was the last trade that the White Sox and Padres did.
I get a Bleacher Brothers T-shirt?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yay!
This one.
Woohoo! You guys are all wearing Bleacher Brothers T-shirts, except for Steven. That's a different shirt. What's going on there, buddy?
This is the Fullerton softball shirt, and it's an audience of one.
Audience of one. Look at that. That's good stuff,
slick.
buddy. So look, let's before where are we at? Where's the time was? I can't see the clock. All right, we got to go break in 1 minute. Stephen Luker did an interview last Thursday or Friday morning with the head coach of the Arkansas Razorback softball team. Her name was don't tell me. Is it Johnny Wishbone?
No.
No. Okay. I know her last name is like Default or something. Courtney.
Yes.
We're dropping it tomorrow morning on our YouTube channel. Check it out. It's a great interview. She was fantastic. Stephen was fantastic. It's an entertaining video. You don't have to love women's softball or college softball to be into it. You don't even have to like Luker to be into it. It's a good interview, and we love both. So we're gonna go top of the hour. We got to take this commercial thingy station ID. Jeff will be back. All right, you okay with coming back, or do you want Marisol to say? Okay, we'll be back with
Beethoven. I'll be Bach. Maybe you could be Mozart or somebody like that.
Exactly. Everybody, don't go nowhere. All right, we're coming back.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting, and now it's here. TBSN, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Make some noise!
The Tony Bruno Sports Network. Download the app. Tell your friends the game is on. TBSN.
Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks. Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. on your lips. Fuck that, come on your lips and some on your tits and get ready. 'Cause this shit's about to get heavy.
I forgot this is not the radio version. Sorry, parents.
You just got it.
Sorry, parents. Oh man. Well, at least on the radio, I could hit the delay button because we got like a minute delay on the radio there. So
yeah,
this is not no filter. Joe Q, how are you, buddy?
Doing good. How you guys doing tonight?
We're good, man. We are good. We're ready for some horse racing. I did not have time because, look, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I was stressing over Herman.
I'm sure.
Over doing that interview because everybody, they have their ideas. You got to ask this. You got to ask him that. You got to do this. And it's just not who we are, Jeff.
Yes.
And I wasn't going to go X's and O's.
Right.
You know?
That's where I could have done it, some X's and O's, but man, I bet, like I said, I bet he appreciated it. Just like being, let's talk about the man. Let's talk about what's going on. What are your future plans? So.
Well, Joe, how did it sound? You heard it, right?
Sounded great to me.
Was it okay?
Yeah.
He seemed engaged and interested, and
yeah.
And I said to him quickly, Jeff, I said, look, I won't keep you long. He's like, no, you got me.
Mm.
I was like, okay.
That's a test. You gave him the little test, like, oh, no, you got me. Yeah,
and it's great that you have that partnership with him and the whole athletic department.
That's right.
You know what he said? He actually didn't say, you got me. He started singing to me. He said... Oh, I forgot to ask him about the music. Next time, when I attended their practice last year, and they got the speakers and they're blasting music out, oh, it is the worst music. I'm like, who the heck picked this stuff? LaToya Jackson? But someone, it might have been Burton, maybe it was Ambush, said, there's a method to his madness, and he specifically does those things. I got to find out what's going on with our buddy Josh Moore, too. Because when I was looking at the roster today, Josh Moore's not on the roster.
What?
And I asked Katrina, who's our person, I said, what happened to Josh? Because he's still posting every day. And maybe he's can you redshirt at any time? Because he was injured at the end of last year. Could he somehow not be on the roster and be redshirted with an injury type of deal?
I think you need a certain number of games played to be ineligible for a redshirt.
He didn't play a lot of games last year, I don't think. I got to contact him because we go back and forth on social, and he's still everything he posts is FAU. So something was up, and I don't want to ask the coach something I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Put him on this. Like how much I wanted to say, dude, how much do you hate? What the hell is that guy? I forgot his name already. LaJonte. Not hate, because I know he doesn't hate, because his answer is that these guys break his heart over and over and over again because he really cares about them. But I decided to leave it alone. It was on the list, but I said, nah, you know what? Let's not do that. Steven, get me a Kentucky Derby. I didn't have time because I don't stress about interviewing anybody. I was stressed with Herman.
And I was stressed about making sure I have all my notes correct here.
Yeah, and thank you, Joe. Joe's a day early, but because tomorrow night, the La Stella Report is coming live from the AAC tournament, and Rocco Miller, the proctologist, is going to be coming on with them. And I don't know how we're going to pull this off because they're coming from an arena when a game is playing. But I'm sure Robbie's going to pull it off. And it'll be fantastic. So,
awesome.
Hold on 1 second, everyone. Let it rip, buddy.
Oh yeah.
That was the short. That was the. That was not the long version. That was the short version. But that's okay. That works. So Joe is our horse racing aficionado, and Joe, I love you for a lot of reasons. One, you are the funniest dude and it's not just me. Other shows are telling me, they're like, oh my God, you should go and audition right now to be a Saturday Night Live writer, or I don't think you and Jimmy Kimmel would fit together, or you and Maybe you and Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon seems to not be as funny as you, though.
You could probably knock him out too.
Yeah. Jimmy Fallon is built like a. I don't know. I don't dislike Jimmy Fallon, but I don't really go out of my way to like him either, if that makes sense. He doesn't get political very much, and so I dig that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I try to stay away from politics as much as possible because if you lean this far left, you're alienating everybody that's conservative. You go this far right, you get everybody that's left. So it's like, all right, well, I'm just not going to talk about politics at all.
I'm part of the Whig Party, yo.
Luch says he listens to the show just for the music.
Nice.
Well, whatever. Well, then we'll sing.
Luch in the house.
This jam.
We gotta save that for tomorrow night.
Actually, the next, if there's a next time I'm on between now and the Derby.
Joe, don't push it, buddy.
No.
No,
Listen,
I'm just kidding, Joe. We love you, man. You can come on anytime you want to. And real quick, Joe, before you, is your guy gonna call us back tonight? Because last night, the Play Actions guy, Jose from Norristown, called last night as we were going off the air, and we saw it. And I'm like, we can't take this. There's 30 seconds left. And then he continued to hold for like 10 minutes after the show was over. So we finally picked him up, and he's like, "What up, yo?" And we're like, "Show's over, yo." So.
You were on hold for a long time. What up, hold action? Like,
that's what he's. Dude, that would have been great if he would have held all the way to Pete's show this morning. Pete picked him up, and that used to happen on Stern. Tom, do you remember when Stern would pick people up and they'd be asleep and you'd hear them snoring? Exactly, because they were on hold for so long back in the day. Now I'm sure nobody holds other than Mary Ann from Brooklyn and Beetlejuice. No one really holds for Stern.
and that happens on the Dan Patrick show as well.
Does it really?
Oh, I know.
Oh. So, Joe, look, man, I said I love you for a lot of reasons, but Joe started writing daily horse racing picks for us. I didn't ask him to. He just sent it to me one day. And he sent it to me another day. And he sent it to me another day. And then when I started looking at analytics, there's a lot of people reading these things. And I told him that. And I had to get him a new, he had no show card originally. So we got him the old show card. But I felt like he outgrew it. Have your picks improved since the show card improved, or have they gone downhill, or where are we at? Where are you at lately?
I have taken so many runner-ups in these races lately that, I even wrote about it last week, how I have a severe case of seconditis.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, put the Bleacher Brothers website on share, or Tom, one of you guys go to the betting page, because something I want to point out is on our betting page. There's a few betting articles, Play Action. Why the frig am I calling you Play Action again, man?
That's
Jeff?
what I go by. Come on now.
All right.
Play Action real.
So there
Whatever
are, leave it right where you got it, Stephen. And actually go to the top, and I'm going to have you scroll, all right? Go all the way to the top. So at the top of our betting section, all right, you want offers? There's all kinds of offers these books run. And we got all these different offers. Now, scroll down a little bit. There's a golf article for Tom, but it's about prop bets in golf. And then you just stop, Stephen. Stop, Stephen. Go back down a little bit. There's that one that says sports betting. So if you're new to sports betting, boom, go learn about sports betting. What are prop bets? What are teasers? But then below that, look, the only guy who has a link on our betting page is Joe Q.
That's sweet.
There's no AJ's picks. There's no anything. It's just Joe Q at this point. It's just Joe Q, but I said I got to get one up there first, and it's Joe. It's not that when I was designing the page, I had a little box that I had to fill in. I'm like, what the hell do I put in here? No, it wasn't that. No, seriously, it was it was Joe, because he's doing. So, Steven, scroll the page there real quick, all right? So you got on here, and stop the different specials that are going on. All right, FanDuel is giving you $250. MGM, Jamie Foxx is only giving you $150. So obviously go FanDuel. Scroll a little bit more, Steven. Let's get to 365. 365 is giving you $200 or $1,000 safety net.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and what's going to be cool is this scoreboard, this new scoreboard will be here on the page, and you can just scroll around like sideways, and you'll be able to see all the different books. You can load them all, because in a lot of states, like where you are, Jeff, there's a lot of books in your state.
That's right.
So you can line them all up, and then you have this scoreboard to go and look for the best odds.
And that is the best thing to do, because what are you doing? You're like setting up like a tablet and a laptop, and you get them all lined up. It's a pain in the rear. So why not have it all right there? And I can say, okay, I like the FanDuel's line on this game, right?
And I can also tell you from my experience with FanDuel, they have a special once you get into the FanDuel app with horse racing, where your first bet, if your horse does not win, they will pay you back up to $200.
Okay, I gotta write that down.
So I don't think all the books have horse racing on them, but no. Is FanDuel the only one that has horse racing on it?
I think in Nevada, William Hill. I know we're talking apples and oranges here, because I was thinking it was MGM when I was out there with you guys last month, but FanDuel is hand in hand with TVG.
Okay.
So that's why they have horse racing. It's basically the same. That's why TVG is now FanDuel TV. It's because FanDuel bought into TVG or vice versa, and that's how they changed the name to FanDuel TV and all that stuff.
All right, so then I can gamble right now horse racing on FanDuel, can I? Because on TVG I could do that years ago. I could do that before there were any legalized sports books. I was able to bet right there from home. So so do I need the fan book? Because I had a FanDuel app a long time ago for fantasy, but then I preferred DraftKings for my fantasy when I was doing it.
Yeah.
So is it just because DraftKings, you get a fantasy app, then you get the sportsbook app, then you get another freaking app, and then, you know, they get all this crap. And on FanDuel, is it just one app, or do I need a special horse racing app?
It's just toggle between the three: the casino, the sports book, and the racing. But in your case, because you're in the state of Florida, you won't be able to access the FanDuel racing part. You'll probably get into TVG or Twin Spires or anything else that's available to you horse racing wise. But I don't know if you'd be able to get into the FanDuel racing part or not, because of the whole Indian reservation thing. And
you can't say Indian, Joe. You have to say native Seminole. God damn it, Joe. No, you won't be back. He won't talk Biden Trump, but he'll insult.
So there was a horse Indian Charlie. We got to rename him Native American Charlie now.
Yeah, I know. It's like the Black Hawks. How are they getting away with that? Okay.
Joe, when do you have more vacation time coming up?
Memorial Day week.
So I was thinking the best way to get with Cousin Eddie's owner is to bring you in and have you interview him, because this guy don't shut up. I mean, it's literally like 8 hours, and I mean, I'll do it for us, and he's constantly asking for me. He's like, "Where's AJ? AJ hasn't called. Where's AJ?" I think he breaks his own water system just to call us, hoping that I'll come out so he can show me pictures from the 1920s of his horses and at the track with Marilyn Monroe and all that crap. So,
well, I do have an Uncle Ernie update.
Go ahead. They put him down? Don't say that.
They put him down for the 9th race on Monday.
Oh, God. Okay. All right, good.
He's entered in a optional claimer in the 9th race on.
In Parks?
Yeah.
Why? You see, that's the problem, man. You live down here, Gil, the owner. You don't want to be in Pennsylvania in the wintertime. Why you making Ernie be in Pennsylvania? That's why he escaped and ran down 95 until the cops got him.
Well, it was 72 degrees here today.
Yeah, but what is it tonight? Like 32?
Still 58 according to my computer.
Well, nice. You'll get snow next week, so it don't matter.
Yeah, probably will.
Oh, all right. So Ernie's running on. So can you put out a special piece from Monday where you just handicap? You know what? Hey, let's do this if you want to. I'll go head to head with you on Ernie. I just got to get the card, the Daily Racing Form card.
Oh, I can download it and send it to you.
Yeah, Yeah, that'd be awesome if you could do that. I could download it too, but then I have to log in and pull the site up and remember my password and pay $1.99. Actually, you don't have to pay anymore, do you, for the cards?
I don't be well. I pay a quarterly subscription to Daily Racing Form.
But for the cards, I used to have to pay every year when I would log in for the Triple Crown. And this past year, I did not have to pay, and I got the cards with the info. I wanted the buyer numbers, and I got them. You used to be able to get them for free without the numbers. Do you remember the rag sheets? Do they still have those? The Ragazon sheets?
They still have them. I've never used them.
They sell these things, Jeff. You go to the track, and immediately they're sitting there. You buy the Daily Racing Form. It used to be $3.75. Now I think it's $12 or something like that. But they had these Ragazon forms. I don't know if I'm saying it right. You have to pay $25 for these sheets with just numbers on them. And it was the complete opposite of all the other numbers you used to handicap and where high is good. These sheets were like golf. The lower is better. Everybody's just pulling. Yeah, that's what we need to do. We just need to. Tom, get one of them little sticky pads, the little yellow ones. All right? And then just write a bunch of numbers on them. We'll photocopy it. We'll go down to Gulfstream tomorrow and we'll sell them for $50 a pad. That's it. We'll call it the Profeta's Picks.
Profeta's Picks.
Joe, tell us what the hell happened. And there's a glitch in the website, but I've hired the developer. They're on it because I tried to pull the article up and I can't find it on the website. So there's a glitch where it's not showing all the articles afterwards. It skipped that one for some reason. So tell us what the hell happened on Sunday. It was with the Tampa Bay Derby. Is that what it was?
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday, okay.
Yes, I turned it on, and I talk to Jason Beam every once in a while, who's the track announcer there at Tampa Bay Downs. And as the race went off, the communication where they send all the data to the hub in Maryland for all the wagers and money and stuff like that, it crashed somehow. Something with the Comcast and Spectrum Internet and everything else, something happened where that link just shut down both the main line and the backup line. And when it did that,
we get it. That happened to us last night, 15 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
So our whole thing with Pooh is nowhere to be found.
You could have, well, anyways.
We didn't know till after the fact.
Yeah. But they usually have a couple different ways that they can still get that data done. And they just, whatever happened, everything went down. Backups, everything. So when the 10th race was over, they couldn't post the prices and reset everything to have everything ready for the 11th race. So as a result, they waited about 40 minutes. And usually you have to be careful with the delaying races because most of these races, the horses run on Lasix, which is to help them breathe and stuff like that. It's a blood and breathing thing.
Joe, and, is it a fact you should always bet a horse when he's first time Lasix? Or is it a good tip?
If you believe in it, I really don't.
Well, I do, Joe.
I believe in second-time Lasix.
You've already insulted all Native Americans. You've insulted me, but that's okay. Yes, second-time Lasix, too. Yes. Yeah.
And first time that a horse loses his huevos.
Loses his what? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But, so they couldn't close the 10th race out. And because... And also, you're talking before the clocks went forward, so you could only run to about 6:20 in Tampa. So they delayed as long as they could. They canceled the 12th race, and then they had to run the 11th race.
Which the 12th race was probably like a $2,000 claiming race.
Probably.
Horses that are probably dog food today, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. It's always like that. Yeah, they're glue, dog food, whatever.
Yeah, and... they waited about 40 minutes, and they waited as long as they could, hoping that the system would come back up. It didn't. So they finally said, you know what, just go to the track. We'll just run it as a non-wagering event. And, I imagine because it is the marquee race of the entire meet, I imagine that there was several $100,000 in the pot already that had to be refunded, which they did after they figured out, after they got the system back up and running around midnight Saturday night.
So how did they go and run the next race? They never got it up. What did they do? They have to do this with calculators by hand?
Well, the 10th race, they eventually announced what those results were.
Okay.
But they didn't announce it publicly until the next morning when...
It's like a presidential election.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
So did your horse win? He was second.
I think he finished second.
Second. That's
Again.
the whole running thing going. All right.
So so here's my lock of the day currently, based on the streak that Joe's on. When Joe gives out his pick, bet it to place.
That sounds easy enough.
And I've only done one place wager in my series of articles, and there was a reason behind it. And
that horse came third, right?
No, he won.
Oh, he won the race. Okay.
It was because it was a coupled entry in New York. They have every state has different rules with coupling and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, things go fast in horse racing. I mean, things will change like in a blink of an eye.
Fastest 2 minutes in sports.
That's right. Joe Q, how do I watch? I'm looking at some of the stuff like in the past. It was, racingtv.com was garbage. I didn't like it. It was like a lot of European stuff. Somebody told me about ITVX. Do you know about that?
Of course he does.
I've never heard of that.
Damn it, Joe. You contradict me on everything I say tonight so far.
Well, I can tell you how I watch.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I got TVG.
TVG, yeah.
I got DK Horse.
That's DraftKings horse, right?
Yeah.
We got
Twin Spires.
Hey!
Twin Spires still there, yeah.
And I occasionally use Phone Bet. I haven't used that. That's based out of Parks Racetrack. It's a local thing. Usually what I do is I watch those simulcast feeds online. And you can go from track to track watching the different races and stuff like that. Okay. Now, TVG, or FanDuel TV as it's now called, if you get on your cable system or you get the Amazon Fire Stick, you can watch it on there as well.
Okay.
Now, I think there was an XB TV, but I don't know if they do live racing or not.
Joe, I need to know, not right now, but you need to fill me in on this Fire Stick. Ted Brooks was telling me about these Fire Sticks for years. I think Perfetta told me about Fire Sticks. And I think I'm the only idiot left on the planet that's still paying $500 a month to Comcast for all my channels.
Wow. I think I have like 5 Fire Sticks in my house, bro.
I have a Fire Stick.
Come on, man.
I mean...
Up on the stick, AJ.
But I'm eventually going to get rid of Comcast. I mean, except for the internet, because obviously I need it with work and everything.
Ideas just come to me. You know that, Jeff, right?
That's right. It's the best.
Thinking Joe's insulted me so much tonight, we just end the show, right? No, that's not what my idea was. I'm actually thinking what might be fun, Joe. Maybe we could pull this off. We could talk to the people that make these decisions. Maybe a Saturday morning racing show. Me and you for like 30 minutes or an hour?
I'd watch it.
Sounds good to me.
Because then, if we had the show, we could get sponsors for the show. And then we can do all the things that I wanted us to do last year, which was basically go to Monmouth Park and do a live show from Monmouth Park.
Oh.
We'd be the only 2 people at Monmouth Park that day, unless we go on Haskell Day.
Yeah.
But that would be pretty cool. We could go to Parks.
Yeah. And I was going to go to Parks today, but I got tied up with things going around the apartment.
Oh. All right, so what is our, because I've been promoting this as Joe Q, our horse racing expert, not the degenerate gambler who likes to write for us. I have not put it like that.
That's a different
but yet
guy
you've come in and you said, I don't know if it's a different guy or not. You come in and you said, I'm good at coming in second. You insulted the Native Americans. You got political, and you contradicted me 12 times.
Yes, great success, Joe.
Oh, that's what I need. Yes, great success.
I tried not to, but it happened. I'm sorry.
You know I'm busting your chops, buddy.
I know.
What are we looking like? Is there a field starting to shape up?
Yeah, we are.
Who's the favorite? Because they're already talking about the favorite.
Well, we do have a Kentucky Derby and Oaks future pool this weekend. And sometimes with this, you can get a horse maybe at higher odds this weekend in this pool as opposed to the actual day of the race. And it's a perfect weekend because there's no Kentucky Derby prep races, so you're not influenced by a horse winning by 10 lengths in a big race or anything like that. But the two big horses that I put on here is Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Sierra Leone. Is that one of Madonna's horses?
Sierra. No, you know what? That was Gunrunner's kid or somebody. I forget.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he won.
Yeah, Gunrunner was good.
He beat Track Phantom in the Risen Star a couple of weeks ago. And Track Phantom is a speed horse. Didn't have any real.
Explain what that means, Joe. There's people out there that do not know horse racing, but we are going to influence them.
Sure.
To put the mortgage up, to spend the kids' college funds on the Triple Crown this year.
Yeah.
North Carolina's counting on you, bro.
Because we want to go to the Belmont this year because it's not in Belmont.
Yeah, it's in Saratoga.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful tracks in the world.
Yeah. And that horse, basically a speed horse is a horse that's on the lead, sets all the fractions. If you're watching the race at home or you hear the track announcer will go quarter mile in 23 and 4, half mile 47 and 4, something like that. But some horses are, they're just they go right to the front and that's it.
Like Holy Bull. Holy Bull was that kind of horse, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He would just blow people away right out of you go wire to wire.
Yeah. Yeah. And California Chrome was kind of that way. Justify.
So isn't Smarty Jones that way too, if I recall? I could be wrong.
He was a little bit off the pace and then made his move on the turn.
Okay.
But he wasn't that far off.
Okay.
But Track Phantom is a horse that was the horse at the fairgrounds. He won the first two legs, the Gunrunner and the LeCompte. Sierra Leone came in, got a sloppy track as well, which basically means that the track is very wet, a lot of rain that day. And Sierra Leone came flying on the outside with the long stretch at the fairgrounds and caught Track Phantom at the wire.
Now, when it rains like that and you have a sloppy track, an off track, a muddy track, that changes the way you have to handicap a race, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Because if you know...
Horse Racing 101 here tonight, people. We're going to teach you how to lose your money, but feel like you did it in an educated way.
Yeah, because I occasionally give these hints on my articles as well. Some horses, they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're
finicky.
Their sire and dam and all that.
Oh, okay.
Some of them you do know who is the horses that the sires that produce horses that really do well in the off going and horses that do well in the turf and stuff like that. Like one horse that I've always look at is a horse that is sired by Quillen.
Quillen, I remember Quillen.
And if you remember the Breeders' Cup that was at Monmouth, they had rain the whole weekend. And it was a very sloppy track, and he just blew them away.
That sounds like in October in New Jersey.
Yeah. Exactly. And, there's other horses that, you can see. Some horses outrun their pedigree. That's the word I'm looking for, pedigree. Some horses, you see certain horses and you look back at their careers and it's like, wait, this horse never won beyond 7 furlongs, let's say, which is 7/8 of a mile around. Some of them don't do that well, but sometimes it's the mother side that brings the the stamina into the horse sometimes.
Aren't there two, talking about Quillen, aren't there two horses out there that was sired by Quillen or more?
There's probably a billion horses out there.
There's
like currently out there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Because in a typical breeding season, they will cover, as they call it, over 100 mares.
That's like me back in the day, you know what I mean? When I was in my 20s, forget about it. Me and Luch, we'd run wild. J.U.? So you got a girl, you got a boyfriend? Yeah. Where's your boyfriend? Over there. J.U. go knock him out, and then me and Luch would swoop in. That's how we rolled.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
So let me ask you this for the novices out there. So there's dirt racing and there's turf racing, but when it rains, they don't run on the turf, right? They take the race off the turf and they put it on the dirt, and then usually a bunch of the horses get scratched. What the hell do you do in a situation like that, man? How do you handicap that? Are you just looking for, all right, has this horse ever run in the slot before?
You try to look at some dirt history with the horses. One angle that I play on with those races that are off the turf that go to the main track. Gulfstream is its own little animal that we'll get to probably. With the dirt, I look for dirt history. I look at possibly the pedigree because I don't know everything about pedigree, but I know some stuff, but not that much. But I look at that, and the main thing I look for is main track only horses, which basically means if you want to enter a horse in a turf race, you can tell the clerks at the racetrack, I want to run Uncle Ernie in this 5 furlong race at Parks on the turf when the turf season comes around, but I'm only entering him for the main track only. So when those horses get scratched that are on the turf, that are planning to go on the turf and only run on the turf, Uncle Ernie will have a little bit of advantage because he's more of a dirt horse and he's facing turf horses there.
Got that.
So Joe, what happens to my bet? Like AJ gave out that scenario, and I already pulled the trigger on it, and then like, oh crap, it's going to the dirt. What do they do with your bet?
Well, you would know. Let me take this one, Joe. Let's see if I get it right. You can correct me because I'm sure you will. You'll contradict whatever I say here, but you're going to know that the track is sloppy or muddy or funky anyway. They will announce that the turf races, usually when it's a day like that, the turf is closed early in the day, and they say, the turf races are now on the dirt. So it's very rare that you're going to actually go to the window 10 minutes before post, 5 minutes before post, whatever, thinking that it's going to be on the turf and then have it not be on the turf. But if your horse decides to scratch because it does move to dirt, then you get your money back.
Yeah.
I kind of thought so. All right.
Now, what the tracks will try to do is they'll try to let you know as soon as possible, and sometimes it's just that the storm comes in, they're trying to get the race in time, but they couldn't do it. If that's the case, they usually try to tell you a lot of times as early as possible because you have pick 5s, you have pick 6s, you have pick 4s, and basically what that means is you got to pick the winners in 4 straight races, 5 straight races, 6 straight races, however many it is in a row.
That's hard to do. It's hard to pick one race and let alone 5 in a row.
Yeah, I think I've had one pick 5. Didn't play much, but I've had
pick 3 once. It was Joe Bravo, Joe Bravo, Joe Bravo. No, really, Joe Bravo was like the New Jersey leading. Yeah. Couldn't win anywhere else. Once he left Monmouth or if he left Jersey, could not win. But at Jersey, he was a god, dude. Monmouth Park.
And he was the first jockey to win more than one Pennsylvania Derby.
We should get Joe Bravo on the show and talk to him, Joe. He's a contact of mine. I didn't even think about that.
He was the first one to win 2, the first one to win 3. I think Mike Smith won like 3 and 4 years at Parks, the Pennsylvania Derby.
Well, that was Joe Bravo's problem, Jeff. So Monmouth Park was there's different levels of racetracks. There's crap horses, and then there's good horses, and there's really good horses. So Jersey was good horses. New York was really good horses. So Joe Bravo would come down to the shore, to Monmouth, because they would always run in the summertime. That was when their meet was. And he would dominate. No, I mean, he basically would clinch the riding title in the first week pretty much. And then he would go up to New York and he'd go against Mike Smith, Julie Crone. Remember Julie Crone?
Yeah.
And he would just get his ass kicked all over the place because he was like a really good. Not that Monmouth was AAA. It wasn't. If you're equating it to baseball, it would still be major leagues, but it was, like playing for the, I don't know. No, better than the Pirates. I mean, like Tampa would be.
I said Marlins.
No, definitely. But playing for the Pirates is better than playing for the Marlins. But
well,
yeah, exactly.
Your boy Top Fan Rivalry, he's picking the Pirates to win the Central this year.
I like it. I like that team.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
I like Kutch, and I like the guy who the girl is dating. What's her name? The NIL chick, the gymnast from LSU. It's a pitcher and he's got a stash like yours, Jeff.
He's smart. That's why.
Hey, let's do this, guys. Let's take a pause for a minute. Let's bang out this last commercial break. We'll come back. We'll get Luca to do his update. We'll do more on the racing because we haven't even really got into it. So we got to get into the Derby here. And I don't know if we'll get to it, but there's a new bit. Last week we had who wore it the best, mustache edition, and it was Tom Selleck and all these guys, and Jeff was on there, and Jeff won it. We got another one of those today, but we don't know if we're gonna get to it. Everybody, stay where you are. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Let's just do this commercial break.
It's called I Win.
Let's go to our. Whoa, why are we?
She's
so,
not a horse, I'll tell you that.
Why are we so sideways here, Marisol? You pushing us off? She's
Marisol
trying to
could
push
be
you right out of the scene, Jeff. Is what she's trying to do, man.
She could push me anywhere, yo.
Let's go to the top fan rivalry sports list now, Steven. This is the late one, and we're short on time, so we got to get back to Joe. So Tom has agreed to put his banjo in play here, and you're on the clock here, buddy. All right.
All right. I'll start right now.
Do it.
We have some finals in the
Ooh,
NBA.
yikes.
The Pistons beat the Raptors 113-104.
They stay alive in the postseason drive.
Yes. The Magic beat the Nets 114-106.
Marisol must be a Pistons fan. Look at her, Jeff. She looks happy.
And the Nuggets.
Call them the dreaded Pistons, though.
The Nuggets are up 94-84 against the Miami Heat in the fourth quarter. 3:04 left to go. Close one in Indiana. It's a 105-104 game. Fourth quarter, 4:50 left to go in the fourth quarter. And the third quarter, a minute 27 left to go. The Charlotte Hornets are up to 80-70 against the Memphis Grizzlies. At the end of the third quarter, the Cleveland Cavaliers are up 87-68 against the New Orleans Pelicans. Halftime in Dallas, the Mavericks are up 48-42 against the Golden State Warriors. And your hockey action in the third period right now, the Nashville Predators are up 4-0 against the Winnipeg Jets. In the third period, 14:49 to go. Third period, 11:30 left to go. The St. Louis Blues are up 2-0 against the LA
winding
Kings.
down. I think Tom's winding down.
On this day in history, in 1992, Los Angeles Lakers broadcaster Chick Hearn called this his 2,500th consecutive Lakers game at the Rec Field Coliseum in Cleveland, a streak dated back into November of 1965. And that is your sports update.
Yeah, I like that. I like that history one. That was cool. Chick Hearn.
Great work, Steven. I'm sorry, Tom. I was trying to get you on, but I didn't have it set up to do that. So, because Tom was playing. He was playing.
I saw it.
All right, Joe. Couple quick questions, and then let's get right to this, all right?
Okay.
Horse off a layoff, iffy, right? And a layoff is if the horse hasn't run for more than, say, is 30 days where the program marks it as a layoff, Joe, or is it 60 days?
The Daily Racing Form changed it a year or two ago to 60 days.
60 days, all right. But second race off a layoff is good, right? Kind of like second time Lasix.
Yeah. For example, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner who was, where is he? Fierceness. He ran in Gulfstream and dropped anchor in the stretch.
Whoa, Joe! You drop the anchor. I mean, we got beginners here. We're teaching people tonight. You took a dump.
That's Pletcher's horse.
Think of it as he just stopped running.
Okay. Or he backed up too, right?
Yeah.
There's other that's other terminology.
Yeah.
Died like a dog.
Wow.
I
think that's Pletcher's horse.
It is a Pletcher horse, yes.
Look at you with the knowledge, Jeff.
Yeah, a little bit. Not like Joe. Yeah. He's teaching me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can teach a little bit on my articles and teach here as well, and maybe I start my own video component that I'll have on my YouTube, we can.
How about maybe writing a horse racing 101 article and we'll put it on the gambling page?
We can do that.
You know who would like that?
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yep. All right. So what are we looking at with this field, Joe? We got about 5 minutes for this.
Yeah. So you basically have about 10 horses that are already in. The horse with the most points right now is Timberlake with 66 points. He won the Rebel by
Alex Rodriguez's horse, right? No, those are the Timberwolves. Timberwolves.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's named after Justin Timberlake or not, but he won the Rebel. He got the 50 points for that win, and he's sitting pretty. He's going to be in the Derby as long as he's healthy.
Brad Cox's
domestic product who won the Tampa Bay race last Saturday. Dornoch, Dornoch, and a bit of a trivia question for you.
Okay.
What former Philly is part owner of Dornick?
Larry Boa.
Jim
No.
Tomey.
No. It's not this person, but he is seen celebrating when Chase Utley says "World effing champions."
It's not Lenny Dykstra.
No, that's definitely not Lenny. He called me.
2008 Phillies.
Jimmy Rollins.
No.
Dang it.
I don't know. Raul Ibanez.
No.
Charlie Manuel.
But he was a corner outfielder.
We give up, Joe. But here's a little known fact also before you answer that. Marisol Nichols has a twin sister.
She's just good looking.
Yeah.
Man, how did they do that?
Part owner, Jason Worth.
Jason
Oh,
Worth.
Jason Worth. Okay.
All right.
I like Jason Worth.
And we even have a local horse, local to the Philadelphia area, who is on the Kentucky Derby Trail right now. He won in beginning of February. Uncle Heavy.
Uncle Heavy.
He won going a mile and an eighth at Aqueduct. He'll be doing that again in April in the Wood Memorial.
That was Uncle Heavy was sired by Social Inclusion.
Yes, Pennsylvania bred horse, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Uncle Heavy, right?
Yes.
I know him. I have that horse
He's
right
got a
here.
new album out.
Hold on. Let me find him real fast. I gotta go. I got so many clips here of horse racing. And they're alphabetical. So let me get A, B, C.
And there's people like my wife, and I'm not going to say, what type of person she is too much, but she'll bet on jockey names because she knows them. I'm like, that's not the wisest thing. Well,
Some people bet on names.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I don't have a program, I bet on the horse that takes a dump on the track right before the race.
Is it true that you should always bet a gray horse on the turf?
My mom would, but she would bet it on the dirt too.
I can't find the Heavy clip, so you can move on from that. It's not funny anymore at this point.
We have 6 races left. Actually 7, but we have 600-point races to the winner. Okay. That starts on the 23rd with the Fairgrounds, with the Louisiana Derby, and the Jeff Ruby Stakes. Is that the right one? Let me just double check that here for you.
Isn't that the guy who killed Oswald?
Yeah, but if you read my article the other day, I was waiting for something to come up after that sound drop.
No, that didn't go out on the air. That was.
Oh, okay. But
what are you doing, Tom? Can you turn that off?
There is the Jeff Ruby Steaks. Jeff Ruby is a restaurant in the Cincinnati area, and when you look at that track program that day, you aren't reading a typo. That is the Jeff Ruby Steaks, Steaks, because it is a steakhouse.
It is a steakhouse, yeah. Ruby
so it's a
Steakhouse.
play on words.
I love that. That's fantastic. Okay.
So if the Derby happened today, Joe, because we're up against it. Who are you picking right now?
Right now, I am going with Sierra Leone because there's a ton of horses that are going to be going for the lead right now, and it's going to set up for a closer like Sierra Leone to come flying in to win that race.
Nice. Okay.
I'll
go fierceness if he's in there.
I want to see what he does in the Florida Derby before I anoint him a contender.
I think a big Kentucky Derby show might be in order. I also think possibly, I have to run this up the flagpole, but I think a special Sunday night show this week may be in order for the announcement of the teams in the brackets. Since we're talking bracketology tomorrow, maybe a Sunday evening show.
It is March Madness for sure.
It is. Joe, are you betting on March Madness, Joe?
I got a bet going right now.
What do you got?
Villanova, I'm giving 25 points to DePaul.
That's ballsy, buddy.
But DePaul is hot garbage.
All right. Well,
I noticed
Joe,
you've
They are 0-20 in the Big Ten, in the Big East this year,
I
and
noticed
they've
about
been
that.
blown out in 19 of them.
You've been going anybody against you, DePaul lately. So that's how you do it. Just like me. Anybody that plays the Coyotes, that's who you pick.
so Joe, tell everybody where they can find you. And yeah, Joe, you'll be back lots of times, and the closer we get to this thing, the more. But does a I don't know. I'm sure we can pull it off, but does that a Saturday morning horse racing show? Is that something we could do? Maybe.
That sounds good. I mean, it would have to be over by 11 o'clock because.
Looking with the demands, Jeff, already.
No, we could do it at 9. We could do
No,
it
I'm
at
just
8.
kidding. I'm
But
just kidding, Joe.
I do have work occasionally on Saturdays, so.
All right.
And I start at 11:30.
We got to do it at 6 a.m. from the back from the barns. So where can we find you, and where can we? Because we know that you're on Twitch.
Yes, twitch.tv/Joe Quills, and Joe Quills is my handle on almost everything, and just follow me on X/Twitter. I call it Twitter, and Instagram, Threads, you name it, and feel free to tweet away at me.
We will do that, and every day follow Joe Q on BleacherBrothers.com with his horse racing winners of the day. Quills picks winners every single day.
Yeah.
You're not taking any days off lately, right?
No. And special shout out to Pixwise on Twitter. I mean, I have that tweet up for like 30 seconds, and he's already retweeting it to his masses.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Very nice. So let's recap, Jeff. What did we learn today?
I learned a little bit about horse racing, I'm telling you, but we could have learned more. That's why we need either another show, or Joe's got to come on weekly, or we got to fit him in, because there's so much left on the table right there, you know.
What if I told everyone that the Bleacher Brothers Show becoming a 3-hour show, and possibly going 5 days a week, is in discussions?
Of course, sounds natural, doesn't it?
Of course, kind of like Jordan Montgomery and Snell. We're going to hold out. We want a 12-year contract, and we want free TBSN T-shirts.
Yeah, we're not some scrub like Trevor Bauer just trying to get into the league. We're here. We're already like superstars, so you got to hook us up.
Yeah.
Joe Q, thank you so much, and thank you for coming on a day early. I asked him today, Jeff, because I knew tomorrow might be a little sideways, and FAU was trying to get us a baseball player in here tomorrow night also, and I was like, my problem is I can't say no, but because it'd be good content, that's why we need more hours. What if I told you Bleacher Brothers were going to come on at 8 p.m. and end at 7 a.m.? We were going to take the overnight all the way to Pete Shepherd.
Yeah, we could put Jose from Norristown on hold all night. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he should be calling it like any single second now. So,
the guy's like super psyched about baseball. So
yeah,
he's talking to me.
And he is the hockey guy.
And he's the hockey guy. That's right.
All right, guys. Tomorrow night, Luch on Ice. Robbie Listella from the AAC tournament with Rocco Miller. Hopefully, Marisol Nichols will be back. We want to thank Coach Tom Herman for coming on tonight. Thank you, Joe Quills. Thank you for everybody that tuned in on the Tony Bruno Sports Network, on YouTube, on Twitch, on X, on Facebook. Tell your friends. We'll be back tomorrow night. Same place, same time, same Bleacher Channel. Adios.
You're listening to Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Holy shit, I nailed that. Did you hear that? I am like Ryan Seacrest or Wolfman Jack or Imus. Nappy-headed hose. No, I can't say that because people in the after show are still here.
Sierra Leone. I'm going to put some on that.
Good night, everyone.